Hey everybody, welcome and thanks for joining the next episode of Hanging with Drummer Boy Jones. And first and foremost, thank you guys so much for being watching these my videos, the channel. It's doing really well. Got a lot more views than I expected I would. Uh, I'm having a great time doing it, and I'm talking to a lot of great people. And with that being said, the next great person is a guy I met on X. Uh, he's the co-host a lot with the Hair Metal Gurus channel, and you know, guys, I've been talking about his channel for some time. It's actually where I sort of got started doing this, was doing one with him. But his name is Patrick Reeves, and later on in the video, I'll put his information up on X. He knows everything about music, everything. He's just a wealth of knowledge and also a really good guy. So I hope you enjoy our conversation that we had over the weekend, and it'll be coming up right after this. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Hanging with Drummer Boy Jones. Tonight, I have someone that is, well, it's the first time we've met face to face. We've had several text exchanges and message exchanges through Facebook. A lot of you guys, if you've watched my channel, you know I pimp out the Guru, the Hair Metal Gurus channel on YouTube. I was lucky enough to be on that channel one time about Jani, and so his co-host that he does a lot and does a lot, I think, of his bookings, some with some interviews and things like that. Welcome, Mr. Patrick Reeves. And Patrick, I met, like I said, on X, and we talked quite a bit back and forth about our favorite music.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about doing this for some time, and the stars aligned, and it's not busy today, or he might be busy after me, but he's giving me
All I
an.
got to do is
So
watch the Red Sox game. That's all I got to do.
there you go. I'm going to watch the Sox after this. So I've got a cookout that people's coming to here before long.
Right on.
So tonight,
If it's a cookout, you got to listen to some Van Halen tonight. So.
oh yeah, absolutely. And speaking, I don't want to, but yeah, uh, it's been a hell of a week, right? I mean,
Oh my God, yeah.
we
We lost Ozzy, and that's
lost Ozzy.
we lost Ozzy, the Hulkster, and Theo.
Yeah. So me and you, I don't know your age, but we grew up in the late '80s, early '90s. So I had an Ozzy poster and a Hulk poster both in my room. So yeah,
Absolutely.
they're knocking off. But so tonight, what we want to do is, or what we had talked about earlier, is Warrant's album was released in 1996, and it's Belly to Belly. And this one is a little controversial. Most people think, I shouldn't say most people, but it gets a lot of hate, right?
Absolutely.
They win it, alternative or this or that, or, it's their worst album. And I think, speaking with Patrick, I think it's Patrick's favorite.
It is.
It is. Okay. So it's not my favorite, but I don't hate it. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I do enjoy it. I really, really enjoy it. And then also in 97, they come out with 86 to 97 Live that was recorded on the Belly to Belly. We're going to jump on that a little bit. But Patrick, thank you so much. I'm honored that you are here. I've been looking forward to this for some time. Tell us, I know you got several projects coming up, got several things coming up. So let us know what you want us to know.
Well, I'm working on a book, and it's, for all intents and purposes, it's pretty much done. It's just a matter of getting it published and getting a deal to get it out there. And when you're working on a project like that, that's very specialty market, it's not something that you're going to go to Borders and that's going to be there. It's a very limited market.
Yeah.
So it's a little more creative to get a deal out there. And if not, I'll self-publish the thing. So I'm in the middle of that, but it's about the period of time from 1993 to Janie's death. And, it's the part of Warrant that we know the least about.
Yeah.
and that everybody else that lived through it doesn't really talk about.
Yeah.
And I want to put this out here because a lot of people on X message me questions about Jani or about Warrant or about that. This isn't a book about salacious allegations. I don't go into detail about what may or may not have happened to Jani.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that go down the road of, oh, well, who sexually assaulted him?
Right.
Is it mentioned in my book? Yes. Do I make allegations? No. Do
Right.
I do I point to somebody? No.
Yeah.
Because it's just,
What's the
is it
use?
a part of the story? Yes. But there's so little known about it. And if you're looking for that, it's going to be the wrong book.
Cool.
This is the story of what happened when the band fell apart and how they got back together and how navigating through a very difficult musical market of 1994 to 2003 was for them.
Yeah. And me and you had some conversations before we started this episode that you told me a lot of things that I did not know about, and I'm looking forward to reading about that. And like you said, it's not a slam against this guy or that guy or this guy. It's just this is what happened. And when you
No,
go
I
to the top of the mountain to the bottom of the ocean, things are going to happen.
one thing I want to point out to people, because it just catches my eye every time I watch your show, is that picture of you and Janie back there.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Is that
Look
the
at the
one?
smile. Look at the smile on Janie's face.
Yeah.
That must have been one
Yeah.
hell of a show. And it was probably in a little place. Maybe it was in a bigger place, but
No, it's small. Yeah, it's club.
yeah, a small place and I assume that picture looks like it would have been probably 98, 99.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So 98, 99, when Janie decides, that's probably belly to belly tour, isn't it?
No,
That picture.
yeah. 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 Absolutely. Yeah.
So when you look at that, you can tell that was the period of time when Janie was going out in the media and saying, "I'm bringing glam back.
Yeah.
I'm going to put on the makeup. I'm going to, get out my old leather jacket with the little silver like holes in it,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to glam it up because I just don't care."
Yeah.
And um, he's got a tremendous smile in that picture because it didn't matter if he was playing to 15 people or 20,000 people.
Yeah.
He just wanted to play and put on a show and play his songs.
That's it.
And that is something that my book celebrates.
That's great.
That it may have been a bumpy road and a lot of shitty things happened to that band, and he did a lot of shitty things.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was rare for fans to leave a show and have not had an incredible time.
Yeah. That's awesome. That I'm looking forward to, like you said, everybody wants to dig into this, that, or another. I want to the happiness, the celebration of what he done.
It's like Van Halen. It's impossible to put on a Van Halen record and not have a great time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I feel about all of Warrant's records,
Um,
Ultraphobic and Belly Belly included.
yep. I do. As I say all the time, I completely agree, my friend.
Yeah.
And
So how did you get Belly to Belly?
well, let's see. There was a place in Rivergate, I guess it was. Well, in Rivergate, it's a suburb of Nashville, and it had at the time, I think it was Media Play. Do you remember the Media Play channel?
Yes. The
Okay.
franchise, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I'd always go get my music. And I used to always get it at Camelot Music in the mall. And then I think they sort of closed down, and just, the metal wire or whatever it was in
Yeah.
the ledge, kept saying Belly to Belly and gave a release date. And I kept calling. I kept calling. And there's like, nope, don't have it. Nope, don't have it. Don't.
Oh, yeah. Those were the days. Huh?
Yeah. And then finally there's like, yeah, we have one in stock. We only have one. I said, put it behind the counter. I'll be there in an hour. And I drove, because it's about an hour drive,
Yeah.
And when I first put it in, I was like, this is different. But I was the same way also with Ultraphobic. When I first heard Ultraphobic, I was like, this is different. But if you think back, you'd already talked. I've done the same thing with Dog Eat Dog. So,
Right.
So it was a departure. I think it went a little more out to left field than Ultraphobic. But I've made this statement before about John Corabi. Jani Lane can sing the phone book, and I think it'll be pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And I don't listen to much of the music than I do the lyrics. Every song tells a story, and how he phrases things, and his use of words, and how he gets things. I was listening today, and we'll go through them, but how he uses phrasings to make them rhyme that there's no way I could come up with. And so that's how I read about it in Metal Edge, and so finally got it. And so I done a little homework before. Well, there it did, fell out. I did not know, because I was always under the impression that Jani Lane, and I'm sure he did write everything, but this actual album, every one of them's credited with writing every song. Did
Yep.
not know that. My homework. I was like, well, that's interesting. I did not know that.
There was some issues because of that.
Really?
Yeah, and on Ultraphobic, one of the things when they regrouped in '94, there's so I was a voracious Metal Edge reader. I
Yeah.
didn't miss an issue from probably late '92 until it went out of business.
Yeah.
And I remember specifically in 1996, I was living in Troutdale, Oregon, and I graduated high school in '96, and that summer my parents decided to move to Vermont, which it sucked. You go from metropolitan city to middle of nowhere,
Right.
and if you've lived in the city your whole life, and then you're in the middle of nowhere and you don't know anybody, all you have time for is listening to music.
Yeah.
And I only lasted in Vermont for about a month, and I found my way back to Oregon to live with friends. And I remember going at the first thing in the morning to Tower Records the morning this record came out. And there wasn't a lot of lead time in finding out that this album was coming out. And I
Yeah.
think it was about 2 or 3 months lead time that Metal Edge said Warrant's releasing an album. There wasn't, a big giant track by track episode of Metal Edge for this or anything like that. It was just kind of a little blurb in the
Yeah.
bottom corner saying, and it was the picture from the back of the or from the book of the album where they're kind of like sitting in a studio. And I was like, holy crap, that was quick because um Ultraphobic had come out in '95,
I think
beginning of
so.
'95, I
Yeah.
think. And so, it was like a year and a half. And so for this to come out that quickly, I was like, wow, they must have had all of this written during, Ultraphobic, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They literally went into the studio and wrote songs together, which was part of the agreement when they got back together that Jani would allow a little more inclusive nature for songwriting.
Okay.
Because they originally had a deal that Jani had come up with for the first couple records, which was whoever writes the song gets 80% of the songwriting royalties,
Uh,
and then 20% will be divvied up against everybody who played on it.
okay.
And so, you know, Jani would make $80,000 on 100, and the other guys would each make, $5,000. So,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know,
I could see.
you could imagine when I'm driving a Corvette and you're driving a Pinto, but we're in the same band
Yeah.
going, now wait a minute.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That
I'm
was.
sure that was pretty aggravating.
Yeah. And
And so,
see that. Yeah. I could see that.
yeah, so I think at first a lot of the sound that I heard on that record I attributed to, well, this is what the rest of the band writing does.
Yeah. Yeah. True. True.
But like he said, that's not the case.
Eh, I think Rick's guitar playing in this sort of shine through, whether that's a good thing or bad thing. I just think that it that sort of maybe was set the tone. And another thing that sort of jumped out was Jerry's bass playing.
Mhm.
Bass playing on
It's much
this.
more prominent.
Yes.
It's,
Yes.
it's higher in the mix. Now,
Yeah.
this was recorded at Dream State, which was Jerry's studio.
That's where. Okay. That's when him and he had started that, right?
Yeah, Dream State. Yeah,
Yeah.
he started that. It's produced by them, and it's definitely a very thick sound.
Yeah.
It's a much thicker. And Bobby Borg really shines on that record.
Beast, an absolute beast of a drummer. I mean, the things that he can do, just his little accents and things like that,
Yeah,
that I've never heard on a Warrant record.
yeah. There's a lot more fill.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fills in there that it's not that Steven couldn't do them, but I think the era of 88 to 92 didn't ask for fills, you know?
Yeah. Uh, and I know this sounds awful, and I think I mentioned this in one of my other ones, but I'm not a big Stephen Sweet fan as far as drummers, uh, which I play left-handed. I'm a left-handed drummer, and he is too, but he plays traditional right-handed sets. But I don't know, just something about his footwork strikes me odd. I
Mhm.
don't know why, but it does. But anyways, this recording to me sounds like a fantastic garage band.
What a great way to put it. I've
That
never thought about it like that, but it does.
it just sounds like it's not overproduced. It's not.
No,
It's raw, and
it's
I
not slick at all.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of the way I come across. And then I did notice, and I was going to ask you about this um because I didn't recognize the guy's name, but there was another guy on here that produced that's in all of the, and I should have written it down because it said about every song was produced by all of them. Oh, here we go. Stephen Neary.
So I don't know a whole lot about him other
Okay.
than that I believe he may have been a an engineer that also kind of just helped a
Okay.
lot. Got some production record
Yeah.
or
Well,
production
yeah. What you're
credit.
saying is exactly right there. Engineered by Stephen Neary.
Yeah.
I just didn't recognize that name. And so another thing that I just caught, and I didn't know this because I always thought, is it Obi or Abby?
Obby.
Okay, so Abby, I always thought Abby was Janie's manager only.
Yes.
This
No, he
is
was the
that the band.
managing manager.
Okay,
He's who took over for Tom Hewlett.
so right after. Okay, so that was their next manager, and
Yeah.
good to know. I did not know that either. So, yeah, I want to have some conversations about that with you off
Off the credit.
yeah,
Yeah.
off the press because yeah. Uh, but okay, so Patrick, let's just jump in there if you want to. So
Yeah, absolutely.
in the end, um, I love it.
So I remember you know that moment when you bought the CD and then you pay for it and you're like almost like running out to the car because you want to hear it.
Yeah,
And you rip the plastic off and that little part on the top that said, the little
the
sticker on the
sticker.
top.
Yeah,
And you rip that off and you get it in there. There was always a thing about these releases that were on CMC Records is that they weren't the highest quality artwork and
yeah,
book and all that. But I'm sitting there going through the book and my friend's driving because I need to pay attention to this. If you drive, I'll pay attention.
yeah,
And you know, well, you mentioned earlier the sound of this record is very different. And it was.
yeah.
When you went from ultraphobic to this, you had the ultraphobic had the one piece I love ultraphobic, but the one piece I would change if I could was I was never a fan of the Rick Steyer sound on that ultraphobic record because it was very
Mm-hmm. And was it very? Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
no, that's fine.
That, every time I listen to that in my car, whether it is a CD or a download or on my phone, and I've not heard the remaster yet. I know
Yes.
I don't it come out, and I can't wait to listen to it, but I still haven't listened to it. Too bassy. I mean,
Yeah.
every time I put it in, it's just like I have to turn the bass almost off.
Yeah. I kind of felt like Beau Hill produced Ultraphobic. So, he's responsible for The first two, the biggest hits they had.
Yeah.
Michael Wagner's responsible. I mean, you couldn't have hit more of a home run than getting Michael Wagner to do Dog Eat Dog.
Yeah.
One of the greatest sounding. I mean, he does all the Skid Row records that are incredible. He does this, he does that, he does Accept. And then you go back to Bow Hill and you get this. It's almost like you're taking somebody who made the slickest records of the late 80s, early 90s, and then trying to make the most muddy sounding thing with a guy who doesn't know how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
And so you put Belly to Belly in, and you're like, okay, it's a cleaner sound, but the drums are more up front. The bass, as you said, is more up front. This just sounds like a completely different animal.
Yeah.
And, I didn't know how to take it at first. Belly to Belly was not like an instant win for me.
Yeah.
And in the end, I was going, okay, where are we going here? Where are we going?
Right.
And then, he goes in the end, we want it all. And you're like, okay, here's the chorus. Like, this is where it's going to take off.
Yeah.
And then you're going, no, it didn't really take off. All right, something in here it's going to take off at some point. And it just kind of was doing, coasting along through that song.
Right.
I think the one thing, excuse me, that I really got up front was, boy, it rocks.
Yeah.
Like it's heavy.
Yeah.
And it's definitely got a little bit of an Alice in Chains feel to it.
Yeah.
Musically.
Yeah.
Jani would never try and sing that way, but I thought Jani's voice sounded great too. Because he's not just going in the end, we want it all. He's belting it out.
Belting, yeah. Yep.
And Jani could really sing.
Surprisingly high. I mean, he don't sound like, when you listen to, he's not Mark Slaughter high, which is not that good anyways. But Jani's, he gets up there, but it doesn't sound like he's up there. Because I know we've played in cover bands and all that my entire life. And a lot of people's like, I can't sing Jani. It's just different, So, yeah. So, but yeah, I thought one of the how it goes out, buy the pearl and sell the world. I thought this is a very dark record. It's uplifting. I mean, when I say uplifting,
I think
it's living, but it's lyrically dark.
Chris, if we put ourselves back into you have to figure this was written mostly in probably early 96.
Right.
Okay. So, because you need 3 months of lead time to get a record from mastering to print to in the stores. So this is late 95, early 96, we're writing it. What's going right for them?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely nothing. They've lost their deal with Columbia. They're getting the pants suit off them by Brockham and all these other people. They 3 years earlier, they're playing Monsters of Rock in Italy to 35,000 people with Iron Maiden and Pantera.
Yeah. Right.
And now we're in this shitty little club, probably arguing with the club owner to get paid.
Yeah.
Setting up our own equipment, or having like one guy set up all our equipment with shitty sound and probably a sound guy that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yep.
That doesn't feel good when we were just on top of the world. So I get where we're going here. And Jani, anybody will tell you, Guru will tell you, I'll tell you, you'll tell us. He just wants people to hear it.
Yeah.
And he's having the worst time trying to get people to hear it.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's where in the end we want it all. And then in the end we take a fall.
Yeah. And then there's nothing. It
makes sense.
Powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, and it pisses me off when people just like it pissed him off when people want to just go, oh, there's the cherry pie guy. There's the heaven guy.
Yeah.
There's so much more.
Yeah.
And he's bleeding this out in these songs.
Yeah.
And I've never heard a more emotional record from the man than this record.
Yeah. Yeah. It's if you've not taken the time, which there's a good friend of mine, and he's going to be on here some too.
Cool.
Chuck. I always mention Chuck. Me and Chuck had a record store, and Chuck is a huge Warrant fan too. Me and that's we sort of bond over Van Halen and Warrant, and but Chuck's not a big lyrical. He listens to the song, but doesn't really pay attention to the lyrics. And I was like, man, you've got to listen to this, And I'd tell him, he's like, holy shit, is that what this say? And yeah,
So
so
many people weren't listening to the words. Yeah.
yeah, which goes right into the second track. Feels good.
Oh, isn't it? It's so good.
Oh yeah, yeah. First, now that one did get me right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
That
So
yeah,
you're sitting there. I'm sitting in this car, and we just get done with In the End. And I'm kind of looking at him. It was my buddy's name was Kent driving it, and Kent was like a Nine Inch Nails, Depeche Mode, New Order,
yeah,
electronic music kind of guy.
yeah.
Really, at that point, into Nine Inch Nails, and I'm sitting there still, wearing my enough's
No.
enough, dying for this Warrant record, and he liked it too.
Yeah,
But he was a little more open to hearing new things.
yeah,
And he's like, dude, they're just trying to jump a trend. And I was like, at that point, I was like, oh my God, are they?
yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
And then the take everything that I own
Mm.
starts up, and you're like, and it's the distorted vocal and
Yeah,
the nair, 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 nair.
yeah,
I was like, oh God, here comes like this is the Alice in Chains.
yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, here we go. And then, but it feels kind of good. I was
That's
like,
what got you.
oh shit, here we go.
Yep, yep.
And it was
There's Warrant.
amazing.
Yeah, that was the same thing, and that just that what's the verse two? I'm sort of skipping down through here, but I'm at the end of my rope. I just remembered a joke. Have you heard the
Yeah.
one that I've become or whatever?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he's writing it.
He gets it. Yeah.
He's living it, and that's what he's writing. And it very very powerful. And then next is could be my favorite song on the record, "Letter to a Friend."
Yeah.
Lyrically,
That one starts out with that odd music.
yeah, yeah.
And
That's
you're like, what are we doing here?
yeah. That's where I was. That's what really jumped at me when I was talking about Jerry's. That's where I was like, this is Jerry's song. As far as it very bass heavy.
Yeah, and so up until a while ago, I didn't realize that in the Bobby Borg interview that Hair Metal Guru did. Check out Hair Metal Guru. Great
Absolutely. And
channel.
I didn't want to ask you. A lot of my people where I live, a lot does not do X Twitter. Do you
Sure.
have a Facebook presence?
I don't.
Okay.
I've never been on Facebook. I've never been a social media guy. I'm going to have to change that clearly.
Right.
But the only reason I got on X was because Guru told me get on X to contact me,
Yeah.
and that's how I got in touch with him.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and X is kind of my first foray in 30 years into social media. I had a MySpace page for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Well, one of the reasons I done it was they said Jani had a bunch of things on there, and that's the reason I got
that was the only reason to go for me
Yeah.
was I got to hear these Lane songs.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to break your.
No, that's okay.
Wasn't
So
asked.
we get this, and I was like, "What on earth is this?"
Yeah.
You can get more farther away from a traditional Warrant sound than the music to Letter to a Friend, and then boom, like 4th of July, Janie's voice just comes flying out with that chorus.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite chorus to any Warrant song.
Yeah.
And I know that will be controversial.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
It's,
That is a
pretty
thing
awesome.
of beauty. It's such a cry to whoever he hurt to say it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
If you don't make a start with somebody else, I'll keep you in my heart and everybody will be fine. And
It's
wow. But the line in it that kills me and cut me like a knife was nothing's perfect except God and a California sunset. We're not perfect doesn't mean we're bad. There's a place in the sun for everyone. You just got to find it. I wish you luck with Moore's. I have to go and find mine. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Fucking Shakespeare.
yeah, it is. I get cold chills every time, and I'm the same. Yeah, every time I hear that, I was like, God, it's perfect. And the other one that sticks out to me is uh as milk spreads out across the floor, we both agree it's not worth fighting for. I'm like, damn,
Oh,
that's genius, you know?
just imagine, we're sitting in the studio, you're waiting to do your drums, and he's like, I got something. How does this sound? I mean, I would have just had to go walk outside and be like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Excuse
like
me.
this guy, we got to keep him in the band.
Right, man. Yeah, that's, and I think that the chorus in the song and the lyrics to the song is just is a masterpiece. And
Yeah.
you saying it's one of the best songs they've ever done. I agree. I mean, it's
I don't know if you saw in the Bobby Borg interview. Bobby Borg talks about how that song came about. Was that it was an idea that Bobby Borg had about writing a letter, like a suicide letter to a friend.
I,
And
I know I
yeah,
watched that episode, but I'm gonna have to rewatch that now. Okay.
yeah, and he's like, obviously he didn't use any of the lyrics that I'd written,
Yeah.
which I don't know Bobby Borg's writing prowess or if
Right.
he's super talented at it or not,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
It'll
great
punch
song.
you right in the face. I mean, it's
Oh my God. I think I remember when we were in the car listening to it, just going back right away. I
yeah.
didn't even need to move to the next song. I'm going to stay right here.
Yep.
Because when I find an album that I love, I listen to it. I don't even listen to the full thing in one listen. Like I got to go back to where I'm at and hear things again
Yeah.
because and that's what I was doing with this record. I was through those first three songs. I was like, I got to stop.
I get
I got to go back and then hear this again
yeah.
because
Yeah.
it really is a beautiful piece of music.
Yeah. It is. Coming up next is AYM, Angry Young Man. First time I heard that, I was like, damn, they've went heavy.
Yeah.
And then I also thought, damn, they're taking a shot at Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah, it's a good Stone Temple Pilots song for sure.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of talk that this album, Jani and Rick Steyer had talked about making it a concept album of, you know, basically the Warrant story, the making it from nothing to being the biggest to falling.
Yeah.
And not the most original idea,
Yeah.
but I thought AYM was good. At first, I was like, this is a novel concept, but I didn't feel like it was hitting. And it didn't hit me for a while that I was like, okay, yeah, no, this does hit. This,
Yeah.
like I said, this is the very first time I actually made it all the way through the record. I was like, wow, like I'm having a trouble digesting this record, but I just spent so damn long with it that it
Yeah.
was like, how is it? And now it hits.
Yeah.
And
And
this is a great song.
yeah. And like I said, this people that has not heard this record, you're listening to two guys that's been listening to it for 30 years. So
Right.
yeah, first time I heard some of these, I was like, yeah, I don't know, but now it's just second
If
nature. It's like, no, that's
if you put this record in your car and you listen to it on the way to work and on the way home from work for a week, it'll hit.
yeah, yeah. And probably gonna say another thing that's probably controversial, but hey, Generation Swines even grew on me.
I gotta go.
I don't like Brandon, but
No, I was gonna say that better not have
yeah,
smacked.
there's some shit on there that I will not listen to, but
We were talking before we started recording, we were talking about records that you anticipated,
yeah,
for a good year. That's one of them.
yeah,
The
yes,
anticipation for Generation Swine, I've never anticipated a record more.
yeah. It was a big letdown when I got it, but
Yeah, for sure.
there's a few of them that's grew. I mean, I do like Afraid and Find Myself, but there's some on there that's just I can't do it. I
No.
just can't do it. But all right, so oh, I skipped a page. Next one, another one where the title of the record comes from, Indian Giver. Mm.
That was the song that I thought rocked the hardest the first time I heard it.
What a
It's
groove.
like, what a groove. Um, you know, who am I? I am you and I. Who are you? You are me too. Who are we? We are you and me.
Yeah. Who are
Who
they?
are they? They don't matter
They
anyway.
don't matter. That's when
It's
me and
good
you had that
stuff.
conversation earlier about lyrics. That's one of them. It's like
Mhm.
there is nothing special to that right there, but how he worded it is unbelievable.
The delivery,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And one thing that should be said about these that you and I got to experience, but if you didn't get to, you're not going to,
Yeah.
is that these songs took on new life live.
Yep.
They were heavier live than they were on
Yes.
the record.
Yes.
And that just you felt like 10 pounds of TNT had just gone off
Yeah.
when they played these songs live.
And
They
that's
were
what,
great.
I know they had made that pretty popular um, statement, when they recorded Dog Eat Dog, they wanted to go a little heavier than Cherry Pie to match their live performances. And they did that on this one, or I shouldn't say they did it with the live records. You can tell how they are live versus a record. They are
Hmm.
your band. And I don't think well, I guess Dog Eat Dog probably captured it more than anything about the heaviness, but yeah, it's, that was super heavy. And God, the groove on it is so good. So
Hmm.
good.
Oh yeah, and even like they played the sitar on it, and the
Yeah.
it was so bizarre. It was so not what you expected from Warrant, and I'm sure that played into writing it too.
Yeah.
Is they were probably trying to do something to get further away from what they had been doing.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes the simplest thing to play or the simplest lyrics are the best lyrics,
Yeah.
and that was certainly the case on this one.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Um, Next we've got Falling Down. Um, that's another one that the lyrics, the first time I heard I'm a piece of candy cane lodged tightly in a drain, day by day, just wasting away. I was, what the fuck?
Yeah. That song is an interesting one. It starts out with that slow, quiet, you know, tinging guitar,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of like it's going, and you're like, okay, we're gonna take off, we're gonna take off, and then I'm falling down, and you're like, okay, this has got to take off, like this has got to go somewhere, not down. We need to go up.
Yeah.
At the end when it does kick in and Borg's just slamming that snare,
Yeah.
it's like, oh shit, this took off in a
It
great way.
yeah. Yeah.
And
That's,
there's probably the best guitar solo is on that.
yeah.
Kind of one of the only guitar solos of
Yeah. It's not very, yeah, you might be right because there's not a lot of that. And, you know, and I'm fixing to come up to a couple things about this that I wasn't a fan of, but the next was the interlude.
Yeah, those could have been those.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Yeah,
Just drop them. Uh, then solid.
love it.
It's solid.
Yeah, it's solid.
Yeah.
It's I know a lot of people don't get it. You know what I would say about it, Chris? It's another Stone Temple Pilots song.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's another Stone Temple Pilots song. It's probably my least favorite song on the record.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not, and that doesn't mean it's bad. It's
Yeah.
just it's there.
Yeah.
It's part of the record.
Yeah.
It's love and stereo. It's this album's love and stereo.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Now the next one is the one that's probably my least favorite on the record, and that's All For You.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I didn't like, and I still don't know this. I think it was like somebody in the studio, they just grabbed a girl and they was like, you sound pretty good. Let's sing on this.
Yeah, so the story with that, and I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she was working in the studio.
Hmm.
And Jani was like, I wonder what a woman singing on this would sound like. And she volunteered to do it. And he went, you sound perfect. Let's do it.
Wow.
And, you know, it's just, he said he wanted somebody that sounded like Stevie Nicks,
Yeah.
and she kind of does. And it just doesn't fit.
It doesn't, does it? Yeah.
There's a certain mood to every record.
Yeah.
Every record. You can name any record, there's a mood to it.
Yeah.
Even Swine.
Yeah.
Your favorite Motley record, Swine.
Yeah. My favorite Motley record. Yeah. It's
But
sort of the Brandon of swine, right?
yeah, it's the Brandon of Swine.
Ah, that's fantastic. That is awesome. Oh, me. So now we're moving on to Coffee House.
Love it.
Yeah.
So heavy. And I got to hear them play that live, and it was so good live.
Really.
Yeah, they did not play that much live. I told on Rock Resurgence Radio, I told the story of I saw them on the Metal Edge Rock Fest tour in 2002,
Yeah.
summer of 2002. And the night before was the David Lee Roth, Sammy Hagar concert when they toured together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they broke the sound ordinance that night. They were supposed to be done at 11 o'clock, and Roth played till 11:20
Oh,
because in the fairgrounds in Essex Junction, Vermont, is like basically in a neighborhood area.
okay.
So Roth purposely, because he was pissed off about something, went way past it. And so that was on a Sunday night, and this Metal Edge Rock Fest was going to be on a Monday at like 7 o'clock p.m. And because the night before they broke the sound ordinance, they moved the start to 2 o'clock on
Whoa.
a Monday.
That's insane.
So, and there was no promotion of this. So if you didn't listen to the radio that day, you were going to miss this entire concert.
Yeah.
And I had tickets when we got there. LA Guns had just started. They were the first band to play, and it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a work day.
Yeah.
So
That's,
nobody's there. And
yeah.
it's like probably a 7,500 to 10,000 seat, fairgrounds concert with the Ferris wheel in the background and everything.
Yeah.
And by the time Warrant went on, it was like, I don't know, 3:30, 4 o'clock. And there was maybe 20 of us. Jani jumped into the crowd and sang the whole concert from
Wow.
the crowd.
That would have been something to see.
Oh, he was playing like there was 30,000 people there.
Yeah.
You watch that Louisiana Blood, Sweat, and Beer show,
Yeah.
same energy.
Wow.
And
Say that, if he was on his game, there wasn't very many that was as good as he
yeah,
was.
and they played Coffee House at that, and I just remember, that groove and the bass line. Jerry was right in the pocket with that thing, and Janie's flying around the crowd with people, putting his arm around people, and he did the whole, look, it'll be 3 minutes. I just want you guys to hear this song. Rock with me, and we'll play all the hits, but just hear this one. And it was like, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I'll listen to whatever you want to play.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that's cool. Yeah. I, I can't, I don't have that vivid of imagination. Yeah, I was there, but I couldn't tell you if like I said, I don't remember them ever hearing them play that. So,
Mhm.
all right. So we're winding her down. Of course, the next one's interlude number 2, which,
Nobody needs that.
Vertigo.
Second favorite song on the record.
It's heavy too.
It's heavy. It's got such a memorable chorus. You know,
Yeah.
I love that song. It's another one where it's like somebody lit an M80 and it went
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
In a live environment, that song just slayed. It was so good.
Yeah. Yeah. And is it on yes, it is. It's on the
Oh
live
yeah,
record. That's what I was making sure.
Bobby Borg just is so good on that song too.
Yeah. This is we probably won't have time to jump into this, but just AYM is on here, Indian Giver and Vertigo.
And Vertigo.
Yeah. Yep. So
People beware. If you go out and you go record store shopping for Warrant records and you see extended versions live, it's that record.
really did not know that because you
Do
can't
not
find
buy
this no more, can you?
it. No, now you have to buy it as extended versions. And if you already have that, do not go out and buy extended versions. It's the same record.
It's the exact same record. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when that come out. I was like, damn, that sounds. it's almost like the recording of the record. The live
Yeah,
sound is so raw and not overproduced, but it sounds fantastic. And
they have a professional recording video of that concert, but they haven't released it.
really,
I know, and they won't because the original band is together.
I've seen several shows on YouTube that's full shows of this tour, but I don't remember, where they're at. But you can type in Belly to Belly or Warrant 96, 97, and there's some pretty decent shows on there.
Oh yeah.
But I'd love to see like you said, a full produced video. Uh, Next one is right up there with me with Letter to a Friend as some of the best lyrics Janie's ever written, and that's Room with a View.
Of all the brick walls we've run into. Yeah.
Yes, that just
Powerful song.
very powerful. I think it's very autobiographical. How do you say that?
Biographic, yeah.
Yeah, of him. And yeah, it gives me cold chills just reading through the lyrics. And
Mhm.
I've heard that song 100 times, and about every time I ever listen to it, it gives me cold chills. It just one of my
It's
favorites.
it's a song that if you're sitting there driving along by yourself and you get kind of zoned into the lyrics and you're really listening to them, Anthony always talks about that song as he's in pain.
Yeah,
And we've all been in pain in our lives, whether it's a relationship, whether it's family problem, whether it's, what. Nobody in my book writes lyrics or wrote lyrics like Janie did.
yeah,
And you could identify, I didn't live Janie Lane's life. And how could I ever identify with Janie Lane's life? But I felt his pain.
he painted a pretty good picture of it, didn't he?
Yeah, you felt it,
Yeah,
you know?
the
And
emotion. I think that's the first time that I heard the emotion was I Saw Red. The first time I heard I Saw Red, I knew right then that he was a different songwriter.
yeah, Quicksand, another one that
Yeah,
that's really,
yeah,
I lay here holding your hand, like anybody could identify with that. He had a way of getting down to every listener's level and resonating.
yeah,
That's the tragedy of his death, is that we all lost 90% of people are finding that out after he's gone.
yeah. And that's sad. That's so sad. And you know, I wished he was, celebrated like Ozzy was this week, and that's not taken away from Ozzy because Ozzy
No,
deserves everything
not at all.
he gets. But Janie, I think that, no, he was not on Ozzy's level, but he should have been celebrated in that fashion.
For sure.
So, all right, my friend. Well, looks like we're going to wind this down with what is the last one? Nobody else?
Different kind of song.
Yeah,
Well, it was only in the last maybe 5 or 6 years that that song finally resonated with me.
that's weird you say that because a lot of times for years after A Room with a View, I was done with that record. I didn't
Yeah,
even listen to it. It was like, okay, I'm done. And yeah, it's a good song. And I guess this was the last full release of original material, right?
yes. And I got to tell you, Chris, you saying that is the reason why this is my favorite record. And hear this out. When people give me shit or go, "How can you like that?" It's a grunge record. It's a terrible grunge record. Well, clearly they didn't. People that say that didn't really listen, give it a lot of chance, and they'll stop you right there and go, "Yeah, because it's a crappy grunge record."
Yeah,
Not. Just listen to it, you know.
yeah,
And but the reason I go down this road is when we got this record, we had no idea it was going to be the last Warrant record.
yeah,
And
yeah.
usually, what I do, which is probably different than a lot of people, is I listen to that record until I've got the next record.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm the same way.
The next record we got was a covers record
Yeah,
that had two amazing songs on
had
it,
two
Faith
fantastic songs on
Faith.
them. Yes.
And I love introducing people who don't know Face exists.
Oh,
Face might be a top
faces.
three Warrant song of all time.
Uh,
It's just Wow. And that's written by him and Carrie Kelly.
Oh, did Carrie Kelly was part of that
Yeah, that was when Carrie Kelly was in the band for a hot minute.
for a
So
hot minute? Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
So we had this record and I'm listening to it constantly because I'm waiting for the next Warrant record to come
Yeah,
out. And it just never did.
yeah,
I got back down to one and I
yeah.
love back down to one.
I do too.
But it
Do it
just
was greatest and latest after the covers record where they had the other two songs.
no, it was
No, Rick
before.
was still there, wasn't he?
Yeah. Greatest and Latest came out in 99.
Okay.
And I'm not a huge fan of that record. The songs that are on there that are new, what are they? Bad Tattoo
Southern Comfort.
and Southern Comfort.
Yeah.
Both of those songs came from the original lineup.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were written when they got back together in '94.
Yeah. And I
And
did love Southern Comfort though, by the way. I like
oh God, I remember that being bragged about before anybody ever heard it by the band as being it's just like Uncle Tom's Cabin.
yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And it is kind of that way. It's a little more kind of down home,
Yeah.
jamming on the front porch type song, but it's badass.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
did.
the only reason in my book to buy Greatest and Latest.
Yep. Yep. And my dumb ass, I bought two copies on the vinyl because they changed colors.
Yeah, I
And
got those too. I did the same thing. I bought them through
yeah,
Paris Records or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, that's sort of like Dog Eat Dog. I had an original Dog Eat Dog vinyl, and I was
Is
so
that the
proud of that
Korean
cup.
one?
Huh?
Is that the Korean one? Or
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. And it's sort of like the new one didn't have the full cover. It's,
gray. Yeah.
yeah, gray around it. But I was like, oh man, I got it. I got it. And then of course they re-released it. And now I think they've re-released it like three or four or five different varies.
Mhm.
I ain't got them all. I've got a couple of them, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm really hoping now that they done Ultraphobic and they broke that wall down that we're going to get that one next on vinyl. Hopefully.
Me too. Me too. It needs a new life,
Yeah.
Janie's music needs new life and I hope now with Chris Laney putting out he got permission from Maddie Lane to do this and they're not for sale, they're free on YouTube.
Yeah.
I made a comment on his video for this town. I said, "You're doing God's work, man. You are.
Absolutely.
You're putting songs out that needed to be heard 25 years ago."
And brought, like I said, didn't change them, just brought in some
Oh,
new life.
yeah.
Great
Brought the vocal
production.
up, cleaned them up.
And I've reached out to him and he said that he'd love to do an interview, but he's like in the Netherlands or something. I didn't
Yeah.
know he is overseas. And now that I've done a little, he's actually does a lot of big tours and stuff over in that area. So I need to do a little more research on him. But yeah, I heard those. Well, the first day, me and you was texting back and forth, and I sent you those. And of course, no surprise. If nobody knows, Patrick here knows everything, and he knows it as soon as it happens.
I've got my eye and ear out there. So
Yeah, and um, but Patrick, of course, I'll put your X account up here.
yeah,
I'll put he's always on the Hair Metal Gurus channel as well. He's been on. Let's see, I've seen you on Rock
Rock
Resurgence.
Resurgence.
Have you been on Hair Metal Basement?
No, I almost had a chance to today, or not today, but sometime this weekend they're doing a recording on an Aussie special, and I just didn't have the time to go on it.
Have gone.
But all the regular offenders will be on
Okay, so
there.
watch the guys. And I think I don't. Crash has never been on Guru either, has he?
Crash and Guru, he's never been on Guru, but Guru's been on Crash.
Okay, so there's a group there, and uh, follow them. Get on YouTube. I'll try to post as many of them as I can, and all of it is so entertaining. They talk this music. I always thought that I was pretty smart at this music, and I do not know shit compared to these guys. They are
That's how I feel. I don't know
a
shit.
wealth of knowledge. They are so entertaining. Which I don't think I've met any of the guys except for Patrick and Anthony. And both of those I consider very dear friends, just
Likewise, brother.
through this. And um, Patrick, it's been an honor, a privilege that you was on my show. and let's make a. Hey, you're a busy guy, but maybe we can make.
Let's do it again, man.
Yeah.
I love your show, and the thing I like most about your show is it's exactly how I would do it if I had
Cool.
my own show. Yeah, I would do it in my garage. I would do it as if you were just walking by and we started talking. And
Yeah.
that is the best way to do it, man. It includes everybody. You're doing awesome. I don't miss an episode. Your Enough is Enough episode was one of my favorites.
Awesome.
And I love the interview with your grandson. It was just it made me smile, and it's the spice of life, man. It's what it's all about. It's family and this music.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's gotten us through a lot of stuff, right?
Damn right,
A
brother. You're
lot of
damn right.
stuff, and also it's made us meet a lot of great people too. So
Absolutely. Keep rock alive, brother. You're doing awesome.
thank you, my brother. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll put up all the links, and we'll catch you guys next time. And Patrick, we'll catch up.
You too, brother. It's good to see you.
All right, thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet.